All right. Thought I'd try something different today. Been playing a little game. Got a bunch of chord symbols in this can written on a small piece of paper. And kind of shuffling them up and pulling 4 of them out, and then trying to come up with a way to play over those changes. See what comes out now. Sometimes they don't shuffle all that well. Alright, I'm not going to look. So we got 1, 2, I don't want to look, 3, 4. I don't want to look. What's the point? Alrighty. What do we have? Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Sometimes they're complete. Oh wow! Talk about crazy. Okay. Got G7, C7. This is in the order I pulled them out. C minor. And then C sharp, major. Okay. And the challenge, of course, is to play them in the order that they're pulled out. That's the whole point. Got G7. C7. Standard blues stuff, right? G7 to C7. We've all done it. To C minor. And then to C sharp, major. So let's see. One of the things I try to do is find some sort of line of continuity through these random changes. So sometimes you might get a couple in a row that could be part of a key, a certain key, and then that way you can just play that particular scale over more than one chord change. So like in this case, although G7 to C7 is pretty much standard blues, so like a lot of people would probably just play a minor, G minor pentatonic or blues scale. Standard issue stuff, minor pentatonic, G minor pentatonic. I mean, you could play G major pentatonic over that too. Throw little passing tones and things in there. But the C minor, of course my brain immediately thinks C minor to C sharp. I'm thinking C sharp is also a D flat, right? So C minor to D flat major is really, to me, I hear the 3 minor to the 4 major, and that would be in the key of A flat. It's not the key of G sharp because we don't have a key of G sharp, but we have a key of A flat, and A flat has 4 flats, right? if you know that on the circle of fifths, each one of those key signatures adds up to 7. So A major has 3 sharps in it, right? So A flat major is going to have 4 sharps. A has 3, A flat has 4. That adds up to 7. E has 4, so therefore E flat has 3. See what I'm saying? D has 2, therefore D flat has 5. They add up to 7. If you're ever wondering, most people tend to know the regular sharp side. I keep doing this direction, but for you, I guess it would be that direction. Most people are more familiar with the sharp side of the circle of fifths, and so if you know the sharps really well, it's easy to figure out the flats because it's just they add up to 7. So I'm going to say we're in A flat here. The 3 would be C minor, and the 4 would be D flat major, right? So if we were in A flat, it would be 1 major, 2 minor, just B flat, 3 minor, C minor, and then D flat or C sharp major. What does that mean to us? How do we apply this? Well, just kind of looking for ways to connect things and see what our options are. C sharp to D flat, I can play over that A flat major. And that'll work over both of those chords. I mean, I can outline them with arpeggios. But also I can just play that one scale over it. A flat Ionian, or if you could look at it like over this, it's kind of like C Phrygian or D flat Lydian. They're all the same, coming off that one A flat Ionian. That's jazz. Just kidding. All right, so let's see. Still trying to figure out how to connect these things. Sometimes they're hard. Sometimes I pull these random things out and it's like, man, this is going to be really tough. G7. I'll throw a tritone sub in there. C7. C minor. You could technically, if you wanted to, since I'm really kind of just playing blues stuff over the C major, the C7. You can just switch up to C minor pentatonic, which is that's probably the easiest thing to do. So I can go from like to not real obvious, but it's definitely minor. Those little bends, I probably should stay away from those. So that's G7. C minor. Now how can I make that kind of an obvious? Try to pull out a little more on of the minor. Yeah, there's that C minor to D flat major. Now that's not going to be a blues thing, that's going to be Lydian, really. So I got to be careful with my 4 there. Or I can just play major pentatonic, which will avoid the notes that make the difference. That's why the pentatonic's so easy to use. With all the modes, the minor pentatonic, I mean, I know a lot of seasoned pro advanced guitar players. I already know this stuff, but that's okay. This is for the people who don't know this, that when you're playing something like the minor pentatonic, the 2 and the 6 has been removed from the scale. So you have 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7, 8. We don't have a 6, and we don't have a 2. In the minor modes, Dorian, Phrygian, and Aeolian, the differences are all in the 2s and the 6s. Dorian is a minor, but it has a major 6. Phrygian has a flat 6 and a flat 2. Aeolian has a flat 6 and a regular 2. So if you remove the 2 and the 6 from the modes, the diatonic modes of a certain key, then you can play the minor pentatonic over it, and it doesn't matter because you've taken the notes out. Same with the major pentatonic. You can play the major pentatonic. The 7th has been taken out, as well as the 4. So in the major modes, in Ionian, which is a straight major, you've got just the regular major scale. But in Lydian, you have a raised 4th, and Mixolydian, you have a flatted 7th. Well, since the 4 and the 7 have been taken out of the scale, it doesn't matter. Those things don't make any difference because we're not playing them. So the difference between the modes they've sort of been neutralized because the pentatonic doesn't have them in it. So you're pretty safe. That's why a lot of people use it. You don't have to think about, well, is this a Lydian? Does this have a raised 4th or whatever? But in the case of this, so like where I'm playing C minor to D flat major, I could be playing C minor pentatonic to D flat major. I just have to be careful. So our progression is G. This is what it sounds like. G7. I'm just going to come up with some sort of rhythm. So you can hear that's pretty odd. I'm playing a major 7th there just to give it some kind of, so it stands out more, as opposed to I could play just a regular major. So this is a little out of tune, I think. And we're back. Had to tune. This guitar is, I have to admit, it's with the hard freezes and the cold weather coming in Nashville, all my necks have like bowed. So some of them aren't. This one especially really needs to be straightened out. But since the truss rod is back here, I usually wait until I have to change the strings before I'm gonna adjust that. So I have some other tellies that I can adjust elsewhere, but this one I'll just happen to grab it for the lesson. Let's see. C minor. Yeah, like I said, I could play a major, or I was just playing major 7, just so it has more something to just kind of have it differentiate it from the minor and the 2 dominant 7th chords. So this is pretty abrupt from here to here. Or I mean, it's not bad. Tritone. Some of the other things we could do is try to find a way from here back to here. One thing we can do is, let's see. I'm just thinking if I wanted to throw in like a 2-5-1 somewhere, so we can create a cycle that'll get us somewhere. So if I'm here, I'm playing a major, I can go up a half step, a minor 2-5-1. If this were a C, let's say if this were, well, it is a C minor actually, but it goes to a C7 first before it goes to C minor. But if I wanted to play a minor, let's say this was a C minor, and I needed a 2-5-1 to get to that. If this was the one, the minor 2-5-1, I would put a minor 7 flat 5 to a dominant 7 to my minor. I think it'll still work to it. Really, because this is just more a way, it's just a vehicle to get us to the G7. What happens after that G7, we'll worry about that later. So, C minor, D flat, D minor 7 flat 5 to G7. So let's see. G7, C7, C minor, start over again. C7's a little jarring because we hear this and our ears kind of make us want to go to that. So yeah. Anyway, that's something we can do. C minor. Oh. No, that's not what I want. So C minor. Actually do an A, since we're using A flat major to play over the 3 to the 4, A flat is the 1. I can actually play an A flat major 7 arpeggio over that. So that'll get me. That's just over C. Here's G. C7, C9. D flat major 7. Arpeggio. And you can arpeggiate that minor 7 flat 5. I just went to, that's this. This is just an F minor 6. So the D flat major 7 is an F minor set, is an F minor arpeggio, but starting on D. So it's sort of like first inversion, D major 7. Oops. So that actually makes it, we got minor, C minor, D flat, so from here, this arpeggio will put us, this is really, it's, you could also think of this as a G7 flat 9, like a diminished. So all I'm doing is I have a G7 right here in there. So I'm coming off of this. All I gotta do is come into the G7 like that. What is that? Chicken Shack. Back of the Chicken Shack. So let's see. From the C minor, back to the G7. C7. C minor. D flat major 7. Ah. Alright, I hooked up my looper. It's making some, got like a ground noise or something. I switched amps. I was plugged into the Tweed Deluxe, and now I'm plugged into the Vibrolux. 56 67. 56, 67. Let's see. I'm using that. Getting there. Still working that bug out. All right. Well, this was just something I've been messing with, where I just pull out these random chords and just try to come up with some way to play over them. It still needs some work, but you know, that's kind of what this is all about. Developing the skills and refining your playing, and put more time into it, and eventually I would come up with something that I could use as a nice solo in a recording or something. Just kind of an exercise. But thanks for checking this out, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section, and I'll answer them as best as I can. Thanks and for checking this out, and I'll keep this going, and if you have any requests or anything that you're interested in, please let me know. All right, thank you so much. Bye.